Okay, so I'm making this short video because on Quizizz, it's hard. When you move the point, it goes from unit to unit. You can't stop halfway between units. So here's a question that you're probably going to have soon. It says, graph 5 points to this function. First of all, you know it's a parabola because it has a power of 2 and has a curvy parentheses, right? So it's going to be a parabola. You know it's opening up. You know it's vertically compressed by 1/2. It's slightly wider than the parent graph. Now, when we graph this, the first thing to identify is the vertex, and that is obviously h, k, where you think opposite on h and you take k for what it is. So the vertex is +4, -3. So what you're going to do is drag that coordinate to +4 and -3, and you're going to put a dot right there, okay? And then from there, you need more points. And we've always said, write down your pattern. And the pattern that we have memorized is 1, 1, 2, 4, 3, 9. But this was the original pattern when your a value was 1. And we know that this is a new a value of 1/2. Okay, so we need to multiply the outputs by 1/2. And I know we all know how to do this. We've been doing this on paper. But when you do it on Quizizz, it's a little weird because when you go 1 and 1 over, and you're going to go halfway up because 1 times 1/2 is 1/2, and 4 times half is 2, and 9 times half is 4.5 or 4.5. So the new modified pattern is 1 over and halfway up, then back to the vertex 2 over and 2 up, back to the vertex 3 over and 4.5 up, okay? So let's try that. And on Quizizz, when you go 1 over and halfway up, it won't stop at halfway. Like you try to go up, it'll just jump to the next full unit. So in other words, on Quizizz, unfortunately, this part of the pattern is no good. On paper, it's great because you could actually put that dot 1 over and halfway up. You could put a dot there. But on Quizizz, on paper you could do that, but on Quizizz you cannot do that, okay? It'll just jump to the full unit. So you're going to not use this part of the pattern. You're going to use the next part of the pattern, 2 over, 2 up. Okay, so we're going to go 2 over and 2 up. Okay, and we put a dot right there. And because of the axis of symmetry that exists, you could reflect that 1 point over to the other side right there. And then if you try that third part, 3 over 4.5 up, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4.5, it won't let you stop right there on Quizizz. So in other words, that last part of the pattern also does not work. So that didn't work, this didn't work. And the instructions say 5 points, and so far we only have 3. So we need more points. And you could find more points by simply plugging in any number you want as an input to the x and doing the math and finding out the output. I recommend finding the y-intercept itself, okay? To find the y-intercept, all you do is set x equal to 0 and solve, and it'll tell you where your parabola will cross the y-axis. So what I'm going to do is, in my head, do this. Plug in a 0 here. 0 take away 4 is -4. -4 squared is +16. And then +16 times half is 8, and 8 take away 3 is 5. So when I plug in a 0, I get out a 5. So that's an actual location on the xy plane right here, 0, 5. That is my y-intercept. And of course, the axis of symmetry will let you mirror that over to the other side. That's 1 unit, 2 unit, 3 units, 4 units away. 1, 2, 3, 4. Put a dot right there. Whoops. And there's your parabola. Of course, you could have plugged in any number you wanted. Some numbers would be pointless, like if you plug in a 2, you already have that point right there based off of this part of the pattern, right? So if you plug in a 2, you're going to get out a -1. Or if you plugged in a 6, you would also get out a -1. If you plugged in a 4, you'd get out a -2, right? But you can plug in any numbers you want. I would just go for the y-intercept. How do you find where it crosses the y-axis? You set x equal to 0 and solve. And we got that point 0, 5.